Morning, guys. I'm Stephanie. Welcome to my health and wellness, and sometimes money, and sometimes things that smell good, and sometimes tea channel. It is Saturday morning. I'm in my cold basement with my dog. I'm drinking coffee, and I wanted to come and talk to you about budgeting. And I'm drinking my coffee. Okay, let's talk about it. Um, it's no secret that things are getting more expensive. Inflation is happening. We're all having to kind of tighten our belts a little bit. Um, and the thing with doing your budget, I think the reason a lot of people don't do it is not because they don't know how, or even not because they can't, but because it really forces you to face how close you are to the edge. Like sometimes when I actually do my budget, I'm like, how was I even pulling this off? Like when I actually go through and look at what I spent versus what I had planned to spend, and I'm actually kind of amazed because there's been miraculous balancing of things. So the way I usually do my budget, I usually do it once a year around this time. Um, and I open up my checking account, online banking, and I write down all the categories and how much actually came out for that. So, like gas, car insurance, groceries, literally down to all those little like nickel and dimey. I bought coffee here. That's kind of a category, you know. Coffee, ran to the drugstore for toilet paper. Everything gets accounted for just in this really like straightforward, um, dispassionate way. And then I look at what I'm supposed to be spending per month in those categories and kind of can see some, red flags. The good news is, shockingly, I am staying sort of within my grocery budget, which I don't think I need to explain is extremely hard right now. Like, we're just not getting any of the extras. And I'm buying probably half the fresh produce that I normally would buy. I usually eat a lot of fresh produce because I'm a really healthy eater. And now I'm like, well, we're getting a bag of oranges, and I'm just gonna like oranges. Like no weird specialty stuff, no cool recipes, nothing. Like just straight up food in the house, food in our mouths kind of thing. The thing that has been getting to me for the past year, and one of the reasons I've been on this financial journey this year, is that um, sort of during COVID times, I switched jobs, and it was one of the best things I ever did for my mental health. And I absolutely love my job now. It's so stimulating. The time flies by. I get a lot of personal value out of it. But I knowingly took a pay cut of almost, well, at least $1,000 a month, right? And had a conversation with my family, but they knew I was at the point where I had to make this change, and I would do it all over again. The extra $1,000 was stuff that was getting frittered away on honestly stuff that trying to balance out my misery, extra vacations and um, just buying more clothes so I could look good in the job that I hated. So I knew that I could cut $1,000 a month of just discretionary spending, but making that shift in lifestyle away from having the pleasures in life has been difficult for me. And you see me trying to deal with that when I'm coming here and talking about my budget and what I'm trying not to spend and that kind of thing. And then the other thing that's been a real stressor is, as you know, inflation, right? I don't need to explain. Everything's more expensive, right? Like my dog food is $125 a month now, and we have a small dog. Like that lasts him a month, but it didn't used to be that. Everything's gone up. It's insane. Gas has gone up. Groceries has gone up, and where does that extra money come from? It comes from all the little fun things that you were doing to make life worth living, right? So, like, for example, I was telling my daughter lives in another city while she goes to university, and I said, there's this really great restaurant that you haven't been to in our town, and I really recommend it. And she's like, oh, well, when I come over next time, we should go. And I had to say to my adult daughter, her full-time working mother had to say, I actually can't. I don't have that in my budget for us to go out to eat, because by the time the four of us, the family of four, went out, it would be over $100. And I'm in Canada, just so you get a sense of like the dollar balance. But my grocery budget for the entire family for the week is $250, and I'm not spending almost half of that on one pasta meal. Like, I just can't. It's just not worth it to me. It almost makes me violently angry that there are people in the world who just think that's a normal thing to do, to constantly eat out like that. I don't understand how you do it. If you're a person like that, good on you. You must get a lot out of that. But like, we eat out. I go out like once a month because my girlfriends want to meet for breakfast or whatever. That's it. That's what I can afford with. That's the lifestyle I can afford with the job I have, and that's okay. That's the sacrifice I'm making. But it's a bit hard to be like, yeah, sorry, honey, I'm almost 50 years old, but I literally can't afford to take you out for dinner. You know, yeah, it's hard. So those are the mental adjustments I'm having to make. But I want to cut to the chase. I've been waiting for, my job usually gives a little cost of living bump, and we're talking like 2%, like nothing exciting, but usually we get it every year. And because of a million like political things that I'm not going to go into, we didn't get it last year. I didn't get the bump. And this year I'm waiting for the bump to come through, and it hasn't come through yet. And like that extra 2% is starting to be like, that's the raise in my dog food. Do you know what I mean? That's my 4.99 green pepper. I need that money, and it's really frustrating me that it's not coming through. And I have credit card debt that I'm trying to bring down, and I was not finding any wiggle room in my budget to find the extra money to bring it down, like between paying for parking and cell phones and everything. Like, I was just balancing all the time. So it was just sitting there. And then, as you know, the credit card charges you interest every month. And it becomes this vicious cycle where it actually goes up a little bit because you owe more and more, and you're just paying the minimum payments. And I don't play like that. Like, I am not a debt person, and it's just, I guess I'm a cautionary tale because it's so easy to find yourself there just by not paying attention for a few months. It's so easy to find yourself there. You know, you had a planned vacation, and all of a sudden things have gone up, but you take the vacation anyway. Or, you know, not, this didn't happen to me, but somebody invites you to a wedding, and you've got to get a wedding gift, and oh, by the way, they want you to get your nails done, and blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean? And you need something to wear to the rehearsal dinner, and like, anything can throw you $1,000 in debt so fast. So I had to face my my budget this morning and do it, and it always makes me a little bit unhappy, but it also ultimately makes me feel better because I like to feel in control. I like to know where my money is going. And I managed to finagle some things. I had a talk with the hubby, and like, honestly, he's going to have to spring for it from his personal account if we're going to do something like go to a movie or whatever, or eat out or anything. But I managed to squeeze a couple extra $100 out of the budget to try and slowly bring it down. And hopefully I get this little 2% bump, and that kind of gets it going. Anyway, I'll follow up with you guys. You know, I know sometimes I post here like I'm buying the occasional thing on my payday or whatever. And I stand by doing those little things for yourself. I don't think that anybody can survive a slash and burn, 100% no spend. Like, there are people who do it, and if you do it, good on you. But I've got a long-term problem, not like a couple months of just sacrifice will take care of it kind of problem. And I stand by giving myself these little things to like remind myself that I am living in the Western world, and I'm very blessed. And you know, I've got healthcare, and I've got food to eat, and I've got clean water, and I've got a safe home to live in, and I've got heating, and I've got a dog, and I've got a kid who's away at university. And I have all of these blessings. And once in a while, I buy myself a little, you know, body care mist or a candle or something just to brighten my day. But yeah, it's got to be few and far between. So that was my random thoughts. You know, I'd love to hear your comments below if you're feeling the squeeze. If you're feeling like what are you cutting right now to be able to afford green peppers? Or are you cutting green peppers? Like, are there certain vegetables that you're just like, no, not buying that lettuce this week. Can't afford eggs. Like, we're all in this together. and we'll get through it. We always get through it, and then things get better again. It's a cycle. It goes like this. But anyway, I will let you know. I'm here committing to paying off my credit card this year. It will happen. Just send out like good thoughts to me that I actually get the 2% bump. I'll let you know if I do. Okay, thanks for listening, you guys. I wish you all well.